Can you hear me, Josh? Okay. I'm running a 6-1, and actually I have a Ninja so if you're using Unirenko, it'll be 1-6-12, but you probably know that. And they're basically the same thing. And the ATM, I've got a stop loss 14, profit 12. I got a break even at 8 plus 3. I'm just trading a micro right now. The market was tradable at 7, but I also had a lot of losers in there. And then over here, I'm running on the higher time frame. I've got 11 and a 2. So to be 2, 11, 22. And that's subject to change. Hold on. Let's see. Let me get you back. Okay. I put on a quick trade right here, and it went 8, got a tail. But it's slow. And we're 5 minutes, and I don't know what it's going to do today. Okay. You like Top Step? I see. I think, and I don't know, I just know some traders that are trading Blue Sky, and they like it because you actually trade real money. So if there's profits made, they're real profits. They're not having to pay you out of other people losing, trying to get evaluations. So they pause you if you take a certain amount of loss on Top Step. Okay. I know. I've seen it. I know. I've watched people that fail and people that don't fail for a year. Hmm. What is the fee? Does it vary from day to day, like to try? Okay. Wow. Is it a real account or they're paying you with loser accounts? Okay. I understand. But see, Apex never gives a real account, is my understanding from a guy that's for Blue Sky. He's actually a representative for them. So if you obtain the valuation, you go to a real account then? A funded demo, but not with real money. Is that what you're saying? Okay. But do they ever give you an account that has real money in it? Okay. All right, we'll hold steady. I almost did not put that break even at 8, but I don't want to. I did not want to start off because it was just barely creeping here at 822 when I took it. And let's see. So we got to pull back. Let's take a look. We're in an uptrend on the lower time frame. The higher time frame, not really. An interesting thing that a guy actually taught me a while back is if you use the EMA 600, it emulates the higher time frame next highest bar. Now I don't have it on because I got a black background. I might change that in a little while. It's actually on, but you don't see it. But I got it on another chart that I'm looking at. So it's 8:30. It didn't go crazy, and we've got a setup right here, potentially, with a trio or rider. But you can see it's painfully slow. Are you trading micros today? Okay, now it's breaking down, which is typical at 8:30-ish. Okay. Wow. So you're gonna trade 1.5 full in Qs, really? Oh, you gonna scale in? Yes. Okay. Nice. So what we got here is a trio down or a micro down. I mean, excuse me, or rider down, trio down, sticks retrace down, or spiral down. So any or all of these would work here. And we got what we call an ambush, which is a lower high. I'm going to put this on. It's going awfully slow, so it's not a premium at this point. You'll never what on rider? Okay, it just shot down and did not fill. I'm going to cancel it. It's gone without me, but it was a good trade and would have won had they filled me. And the one limit has been a problem recently. All right, I had a winner and I missed it. Not happy. And let's see, we're off the daily low right now. Daily open, high, low. is there. Okay, now we've set up for a low. You can see we bounced off the mid fib on the higher time frame. And here was a trade we didn't get filled on, and it was a good one. And it would have been successful on all three. Let me take a look. All three setups. Yeah, don't let me bother you. Don't answer me if you're setting up. All right, we got an ambush again, which is a lower high. The problem we got now is we're right on this fib, and it's a big one. As again, 382618 and the mid fib are killers. All right, it's on that fib. And it's right, right below it is the low of the day, which is basically right in here. But it's early. Yeah, it doesn't like this. Have your relatives returned, left you alone, or they're still there? Okay, nice. I hope. That's good. And how old is the baby? Okay. Nice little boy, little girl. Okay, it's trying to push through, but it's not a prudent trade, but ironically it would have won again. Um, I'm gonna take this off because let's see. This came out of another multi-thousand-dollar package I bought. Let me see if I can find this. Okay, just take that. So I'm watching that in another chart, but it's obvious it's a lower high, and it won. That was a very good trade. It pushed through after a while. So that was a winner. This was a retrace off the low, which was a winner. Off the low in the mid fib and the daily low and the mid, which was a winner. This was a trio was very powerful. Trio was a winner here. So we got some action. Okay. The baby's a boy. 4 girls. Wow. They'll be protective of their brother. Okay. This is a counter trend. It triggered up at 841, but it's going into the moving averages, which is not prudent, but it would have probably hit the first target. Let's see. Not yet. Yep, there we go. All right, we got another ambush right now. Again, it's going to come right back down in the 618, and it may be successful. I'm reticent to put that on. This is it's straddling the mid fib and the 618. Normally, when we get caught in here, it's more choppy than this. Today, it's wanting to give us money. If you take it here, you'd want to take on the open down probably right now because it's already triggered, or just sell. You bought the market where? Down here at 841? Okay, okay, okay. Um, I mean, you probably, I mean, this is the low fib. You probably want to get out at that low fib. If you hit your I mean, I would have put the exit about right here because it's going to bounce off of it. Doesn't mean it's not going to continue to go down, but with the 618 right below it, I want you to end up profitable today. Okay, I got you. We're going to probably do, a matter of fact, I guess we being me, Frank wants to do a company um, account and have me trade it. That's why he's asking you about the, copy traders. So you're out of that with a profit now? And don't let me aggravate you with so many questions. You can just tell me, hey, I'm busy. Okay, it's coming back right on this fib. This is a swing low, which I'm sure you got on your chart. And this is the fib, but it seems to want to go down. Excuse me. So that was another winner. Um, it's actually the market is participating right now, and it's been occasionally so choppy you couldn't trade it, or that nonsense with a 39 spread and 23 spread. I mean, and we almost never ever get a non-fill, but lately with the limit and +1, I've missed a significant number of them to the point that I might have to add another, limit +2. Let me pull this down here and I'll show you. So if you go here on the limit, we can, add actually more. I'll go to market, but I don't want to go to market. We're probably not potentially going to get another um, ambush here. And we like to see this where we've got our moving averages fanning. I mean, we know then there's momentum down, and the writer tells us there's momentum down. So the reason for the funded account or and that's a problem if we put it in the business, because the 60/40 rule on taxing, which is a real benefit. It's unearned income, and it's taxed 60/40 long-term, short-term. But if we put it in an LLC, you're taxed at your full rate of earned income generally. when it's transferred to you personally. But I want to do either I'm going to fund it with enough to make a point, or I want to do funded because I want to teach people, and we do it together, where we go with, let's say we got one contract of the NQ. We go for $100, and we basically take a base amount, and when we double it, we add another contract, and we double it again. Not double it, but when we reach that, in other words, if we have $1,000 or $4,000 and we trade until we get 8,000, when we get 12, we add another one. And compounding consistently like that, it can be amazing. And I've seen people personally do it. Good. Yes, that is exactly right. That's exactly what I suggested. There's a huge number of people doing funded accounts. Most are failing, or if they even achieve success, the rules are so restrictive that they blow up. It's just human nature. Okay, we could hear, now this is very slow and is straddling the 618, and I'm going to point these things out and aggravate you because they will hurt you, these fibs, because market makers key off of them, especially when they look at where stops are. So if we were entering here, we could use a trio, a sticks, retrace down, spiral down, or rider down. Yeah, that's exactly right. With what I wanted to do is just show the potential. The market was so good back, let's say 21, 22, 23. And 23 was not easy. It got crazy at times. Um, and I was, trading a large amount, but this is actually beautiful today. We're clear sky below us here. Let me look at the higher time frame. Now we're still straddling them. That's a problem. We like to clear it, but this is not a great ambush because we like to key off of one of these, the 34, 55, 89. In other words, we actually like it to physically touch it, maybe go a little bit above it in this case, we're going down. And we're getting resistance off of this fib, which we expect. We got 7 minutes until the top of the hour, and almost normally we get some movement. Yeah, it's surprising today. And that's usually Mondays are slow, and this is honestly has turned real slow, which is treacherous. But the 7 a.m., and I stayed up late and automatically woke up before the alarm went off, which is par for the course. But it was profitable. I got up and looked at it, and it also had enough trades to hurt you too that didn't succeed. Like right here, this is an ambush, went nowhere. I like this trade. This is off of a low for the day. And this is counter trend, and we're not going to take them right now. I usually take them. They're usually highly successful. The problem we got here is it was going into the 89, and we got a long tail. I'm going to change the background color in a minute so it's more readable. So you really needed to take profit here, which is not much. But then once you could have taken the sticks back through, or you could have taken the rider. You wouldn't want to because of all the resistance. I'm conservative. What's even? You're even or the market? Okay, we got an ambush down, and we will see where this goes. Again, it's pushing the daily low, and we don't like that because it's giving us constant resistance. And it's on a fib. So if I took this one out of here because of everything that's here, I would only use rider because it gives you more leeway to protect yourself. Yes, I agree. It is. I've watched some really good traders like the Aussie guy I told you about that educated his kids in California and um, threw in the towel. Okay, we've been smart this morning. That fib held, and it does. Um, but now, as we can see, everything's counter trend unless we turn back around and come down. Um, and you don't want to really. You have to be careful when you fight the momentum of the moving averages also. Okay. And we'll see if I can change the background. If I lock up my computer, I'll have to restart, but I won't restart hold on. The recording. There we go. I think that's easier for you to see. Yeah, see, just common logic and experience kept us from just jumping into this on a trio or whatever. Now, if we'd gotten a rider down, red, we might consider it. But even then, I mean, you can see where it went below it, and that's done intentionally. Generally, they want people to load up going down. So you're ahead one trader. I mean, one trade now. One trader. What most of the traders do that I've seen that are successful, and I'll tell you the exception in a minute, is they take 3 trades generally. And the Aussie is really consistent, but he goes, depending on what the market's doing, he goes for 100 to $200 per day. But he's got multiple accounts funded, and he's got his own personal accounts. And his goal is, and he meets it, or he virtually exceeds it every day. Now we got that's a higher high. It's a good setup, but we're coming back down. It's the fanning's not there. I much prefer the ambush than the higher highs, because when we get a higher high, we tend to get a higher low also many times. And that would have already have probably stopped you out, depending on your stop. I mean, you would have gone up 6, let's see, maybe not, but the higher high is not nearly as efficient as the lower highs, which is an ambush. Now we got an ambush, but it moved. You would have never gotten in. All right, I'm probably, it's 9:09, so you can see what happened at the top of the hour, right? We got up here and it boom, boom. That's why I do not like to jump in on the hourly or even the half hourly. I like to give it a second. Okay. Okay, nice. So far, if this holds, we did make a higher low, right? This is our low, prior low, and this is now our higher low. But we got to work up through all this overhead. What I've seen lately is I've got another ambush, but I wouldn't personally touch it again. And not to say it won't be successful, but we like to take the premium trades. At 9:30, what I've seen is the spread gets so wide, the market gets so crazy, and it can run a long time. That is very difficult. Now you can go to higher time frames, but again, the smaller the bar, not the bar size, excuse me, the higher the stop, the smaller, the lower the stop. You can, because you get in earlier and you can contain the risk. So the Aussie and several other people that I know that they trade funded accounts, and they both offer access to funded accounts, which I guess they're getting a percentage. I think you said 15% or something with your email, but they tend to be very selective on their bars also. But the one I was alluding to that they trade differently, they scalp for almost nothing, and they'll do it. And it's high probability trading, but they'll do it over and over for just a few ticks. And but they have a wide stop, which I don't like. But the wide stop prevents just being taken out for no reason. I prefer the Aussies method. and that is just taking go for $100 or go for $200. And I've seen him; he usually exceeds that. So his goal is 5,000 a week, and he will quit when he gets it. And then he's got, he offers the link to the funded accounts and other sources of income. Um, the problem with trading is, and you get some questions on this, but it seems to be true that the win rate is about 2%, especially over a certain period. It takes a lot to win in the markets. It does take a year. I mean, right now, if you look at what we got going on here, this is not really tradable. Also, we've noticed, or I've noticed, not Frank, but at 9:15ish, same thing at 8:15ish, many times you get some good trades. Today we got a counter trend down, and then we got an immediate movement up for a really good trade. And then, that's another thing that many of the traders do is, let's say if they take a trade at the half hour or the hour, they won't take another one until the next half hour or out, because and the Aussie's really good about this. He's like, I never take stupid trades. He says, now that's not true, because sometimes I break the rules and I usually pay for it. But the thing is, he will wait for a true setup. He might hide it, but I've never personally seen him lose when he shows his work. If Frank always says this, the market is bound to get, but it was so easy to trade, and most people, including me, I traded the ES, and it was moving. I looked at it last night. We were talking, and of course it's Sunday night, but it literally had not moved, just almost nothing from the open to when we were talking, which was relatively late. All right, we got a higher high, and again, these aren't nearly as efficient to short. You can see over here, we're up under the 89 on the higher time frame. This is the 200. And this would have likely been a loser. This would have been a loser, but we didn't take it because of what was underneath it. This is a counter trend off the low. But if you took the first one, and you would have been dumb to do it with the 89, you would have lost. The second one would have won. I'm going to stick. I love the counter trends off the low, but I'm going to stick for the time being to trend trades, because we're trying to build your account Uh, Generally, this is what happens. It's not a hard and fast rule, but if we've been down, usually when the market opens at 9:30, the market makers are sitting there with a ton of orders, so they can just flip it up and down and make it crazy to trade for 5 to 10 minutes. How long does it take them to switch? Because that's the one thing they say about Blue Sky, which again, the guy that's promoting it is an affiliate. Okay. He says they immediately turn you over to a live funded account if you evaluate it. And they take a percent of the profits, so they do charge a fee, but supposedly they're legitimate. We'll see. Uh, Now I've seen a lot of people complaining that they didn't get authorized to trade for a while with Apex, but I also saw, and I knew this, where a guy had won. He was a good trader, and he had made $1 million trading, and they actually paid him, which must have been painful for them. Um, so he was, you know, I wouldn't have waited until I was had $1 million in the account, but yeah, that's stupid. I wouldn't have waited if it's true. You never know what's true, especially on the internet. It's like just people's emotions. It has nothing to do with reality. When you say 11, you got 11 micros, basically 1.1 full. Oh, no accounts. Okay. I'm going to check this out after. Okay. I got you. Yeah. I'm honestly being too conservative because I know the win rate on our setups. But just like I told you about Friday, I started making a profit at 2 o'clock or something, maybe even after it may took a few minutes after two. And so I traded later, but you couldn't, I mean, there was no way to get filled with the spread being insane. And it was crazy because it was so obvious. It was showing up in the strategy in the 20s, in the teens. And then when it hit 39 and it stayed there and went back to, I mean, I'm like, what's the point? Yeah, there's certainly a method, and they're going to count on people um, having their personal psychology screw them up. Have you ever, or are you familiar with Alex Elder? He wrote Trading for a Living and The Triple Screen, and he's mostly a commodity trader, but he is very good. Yes, He's actually Russian, and he's a physician, and he jumped ship in South Africa to seek asylum. It was on the #1 kill list for the KGB for several years. An interesting guy. Yes, that's correct. He's legit, 100% legit. And so was Mark Douglas, who passed away. But there's so few. Shantaram, is that the way you pronounce that? Oh, really? Well, Larry Williams is another one, if you know Larry. I'm talking too much. There was another counter trend off the low that won. I like to trade these. We're not going to trade them right now. And I love to trade these with Trio. And they just win. And we get 9:15, which again, remember what I said? I want you to look at this time stamp. See this? I said they change it on the half hour or the hour, but they also 9:15 and 8:15, they just tend to do it. We're probably gonna get a ambush. We got one here. Hasn't triggered and doesn't appear to want to trigger. And we got what we call a thrust back up. But again, we're probably going to change direction, as you said, on the open, the 9:30 open. Yes, I like the Trio, especially down here. It gives you less complicity with other factors, but it gets you in quickly and out quickly. Let's look at this one. 2, 3. It went 9, didn't go through 9. I would have been 8 plus 3 on that one. But it's, again, we had so much resistance, and I like it when we get pushed down, way down, more than this, and then get a counter trend trade. Ambush is simply a lower high, and the ambush came from another guy, and he's legit, and he's been around a long time. Like now we got another ambush, but this is so choppy, you just don't want to jump in here. We probably want to wait until 9:30-ish and give it a few minutes. So this stuff is really expensive, but it is tradable. But it takes quite a while to learn to trade it. But he's legit and blunt. And when you get people that ask stupid questions, and he's not accommodating. He'll bury you. He's like, that's the stupidest question I've ever heard in my life. His name is Pat. He does trading 1, 2, 3. And I bought everything he had, and I made money with it. And then, but it took a long time. And the reason is when the systems work, you got to know when not to trade. But he's got an automated system, which I bought. But the timing's got to be exact. It's neat. But most of them are losers. I mean, it's interesting because I was following this guy, and I do like, and I'm not going to buy any more ever now, but you know, they handpick trades and they, um, okay, we got another counter trend, but again, it's a counter trend. And again, I would have gotten the first target, but he has a, you know, he doesn't have a room, but he does like a session every twice a month or something like that. But he had 70 people in his room, and he asked how many people were profitable, and all 70 said that either lost most of their account or all of it and blown up. And it's because his stuff doesn't work. And that's not unusual. But he charges, you know, $5,000-6,000 for something that doesn't work, and then he wants a monthly fee for you to even keep the software that you've paid $5,000 or $6,000 for. I just I just enjoyed. Most of it is not real. Actually, I got Hawkeye, which is Nigel Hawks, which I bought 2007. I met him here in Atlanta. He's a Brit, and he's legit, and he actually knew Mark Douglas, and actually flew to meet Mark from the UK, and his system was really good back then when the markets were insane before they crashed. But it was more of a trend following, you know, swing trading. It just wasn't quick enough what we're doing right now, and they didn't even have Renko. But so we got a higher high off of the 200. Let's see. In general, I wouldn't invest in nice. Really appreciate that. I talked to Frank before he left last night. Matter of fact, I've talked to him this morning on Slack, and he's up north, and he read all your text. All right, we got 8 minutes. I'm gonna hang if that's okay. That would have been a very questionable trade again. Maybe you would have gotten the first. Are you using the 8+3 on the break even, or you? Because it doesn't matter. You can manually move the stop up, but it's hard to do it manually sometimes. 10-10 is about right. Honestly, 12 is is a stretch, even though it hit it many times. But you want to get in and get out. I tell you what, I've done a lot. You know, you won't get 10 unless it goes through 10. It'll never be filled unless you use, you know, MIT, market if touched. And market if touch always costs you 1 or 2 ticks. You know, that's a market maker trick. But I'd use break even 11 because I didn't want it to go and not fill and then create a loser. Or you can put break even 10, but if it doesn't go through 10, it won't fill. Yes. Yep. I think that 10 is probably about right, even though we've had some big moves. You know, one of the guys that I follow, and I follow just the people that I know are decent traders. He uses 2 contracts, one off at X, and that's usually fairly conservative, 10 or 12, something like that. And then he has the other one, a runner, because he uses like an 18-2 time frame bar, Renko, or 22-2, or even higher. Okay, we got ambush again down, which worked out. It would have worked out, I think, for you. Let's see. Yeah, that was 11. But it's going to get crazy and fast now until we hit the 9:30. Will you go back to sleep some more today or hang until tomorrow? Yeah, he does. Actually, 30. It's interesting you said that. It's 30 is the second target he uses, and he uses a 30 stop also a lot. But he will go to break even. Yeah, you wouldn't be getting 25. You would have some, but you would have been hurt. Oh, you mean on the runner? Yeah, that's smart. All right, we got 4 minutes. Actually, more like 3. Have you ever traded the ES or you just stick with the NQ? And the people I follow that were trading and me too, the ES, just declared it untradeable. Just doesn't move, and um, you will likely not win. And even then, the ones that I see trying to trade it have gone to like 4 ticks or 5 ticks with a 10 tick stop. Um, we ran a lot of ads on Google and didn't get much out of it. What we did get was the YouTube is where we get the most participation. People watching the YouTube recordings. So let's hope it speeds up but doesn't go crazy, and we can watch that limit. We can see right now it's 1 and 2, which is fine. Now it's 3. I mean, which is tradable. I know you know this, but if you anticipate an ambush, the earlier you get in with this limit, um, the more likely you are to get filled. It's first in, first filled. That would be nice with the traffic. I mean, to tell you the truth, I just wanted to trade, my stuff. But I do enjoy teaching. I like it when people win because the banks make billions. And then it's not just NQ. They trade the Forex and they trade pretty much everything. But the majority trade, oil. Wow. There we go. So it'd be zero chance of getting in this right now. Let's give it a few minutes. Well, the problem I had with Forex, and I traded years ago, and I had a partner in a business, and he put 500,000 in. It was in Interactive Brokers, and we put another 30 in TradeStation. But they cheated. It didn't matter what you did. They would run the data. And this was FXCM, which got banned from the US for life. But they made hundreds of millions of dollars by faking the data. So I would trade the $30,000 account and we would do okay. But if they trade against you and they control their data and it's not centralized, you will lose. Whoa, look at that. What you see, if you look at the timestamp, and I know you know this, you've done it on these bars, you can get 10 bars with the exact same timestamp, which means it moved 10 in 1 second or less. And they're claiming the spread is 1, mostly still 1 or 2, but you'd never get in this. I mean, if you look at the time at the bottom, you got this no time between bars mostly. Whoa. Let's give it till I'm 35 and we'll try to take some of these if they're legit. So right now you're 1 trade ahead for the day. Is that right? So we need a couple more. I hope this slows down. They Friday it did this. It was, you couldn't touch it. And I've noticed over and over, I don't know if you've done it, but at 10 o'clock, the exact same thing tends to happen. It leaves for, used to be 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 10 minutes. Now I've seen it run for 30 minutes, just insane. I got you. A smart move. What I thought about is with the idea of having and I don't call it inner circle because that's usually a scam for you to pay thousands of dollars for somebody that really loses. But to to trade to qualify and trade to keep the account active without blowing it out. Now, some people still will do it. It's just human nature to take trades that aren't, on your own. Oh, I see this, and that's fine. But okay, what I was thinking of, focusing on helping people, not just with funded accounts, but but a focus on some, helping people with funded accounts and maintaining and going for, let's say, once you build the account start with one contract of micros and then go to one contract of the full mini and scale it up when you earn the ability to not compromise the account, keep it at 2% or below the risk on a stop, if that makes sense. Yep, that's exactly right. Wow, it's a monster. So we're at 6 minutes, and you would be very lucky to trade this. I hope it doesn't do this like it did Friday. Fridays are usually, get relatively slow, difficult to trade because of liquidity, but still tradable. Let me look at the higher time frame. I mean, it went from here to here in like 4 or 5 seconds. And same on the. I agree. And I've seen people that do it and they have 10 or even more, but they have multiple providers. Okay. We're trying to go up on our higher. Let's see what happens. We're on serious support. Got the 382. Now it's gobbledygook. I agree. I've, I've watched people that did it and they proved it. They didn't. And they had to be careful. The Aussie's very careful. Um, he'll show his live trades after they're done. So he's not really helping you out if you're trying to follow. And so does a guy, Pat. He shows his trades. Now he won't trade but 3 contracts, even though he's been trading 20 years and had a room, and apparently his room was real successful. And it's hard to do a room, and it's very hard to trade and do a room. This has got to slow down. Yep, you were. You definitely were. And you noticed they've pretty much maintained it since 834. It shot up here. This is a higher time frame. This would have been tradable had it not been seconds. You could have used Rider, which we do a lot of times like this. Then it's 2 ticks. So, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 ticks. So if you had gotten a fill, which is not very likely. Um, yeah, it's fairly conservative, the Rider. I don't use it that much either because I like to I like to pick spots like a low right here. It's a lower low, and yeah, I would, it's a counter trend. Um, and when you get a counter trend after a big move, it doesn't fire. It doesn't read the momentum quickly. Now it did here, and you probably would have gotten your 8 and been done, or you wouldn't have gotten 10. But you don't want to be jumping in here. Now see, that's a winner. That's a winner. So when it establishes a trend, um, and it fires, it normally gets you out of a lot of gobbledygook. Um, like right there. Did you watch that one? Just right here. The ambush is, I like it. And what I like about the delineation where it was showing ambush, it keeps you from having to quickly focus on, is that a higher high or lower high, that type of thing. Um, yeah, I got all kinds of stuff over here that I'm watching. And I have, are you familiar with markers? It's another expensive program. So I have markers. But yeah, Frank likes for me to use, and I do like it, the strategy. And markers is not as open to letting you put in limit orders +1. No, I don't know Trader Oracle. I don't think. Who is it? Look at this. Here it is. It's 13 minutes, and it's still running insane, which is what it's been doing. I'll look it up. He's dying of cancer. Yeah, I'll look at that today. Thank you for that. What's he trading? The NQ also? Is he on Discord or just used YouTube? The guy that wrote Markers wrote Discord. He's Argentinian. Okay. What kind of cancer does the poor guy have? I hate to hear that. Okay. Okay. Yeah. He probably didn't even tell you. It's personal. Okay, we're probably getting to where let's see. You probably got a trade right here with if it goes up, what I would want to do here is go with spiral. I mean, obviously it didn't trade up or down because that gives you more confluence. And let's see, so you would have gotten, I'll show you. Right here, you would have gotten that trade. Right here, you would have gotten that trade. Right here, you would have gotten that trade if you got filled. It has a very high win rate as long as it's not counter trend. It does turn out to be powerful trades, but with this market, you can see it's whipping really. I mean, that's just seconds. You'd have gotten in right here, boom. I'm gonna have to title or get Frank to do it if he wants to up in when he's got time. This as a training video because they wonder like, oh, but I wanted to know that we'll cater to as much as we legally can. Even what we're doing is not legal for me to do. You know that, but just so people know, we really want them to win. Because it triggers when there's more confluence and there's an algo inside of it. It's what I said though, where if there's a negative, it won't just throw you back into a non-trend. In other words, if the general consensus is at the higher time frame, and that's what it's looking at. Oh, against the rules. You can't really, I'm not a CTA, and if I say anything that can, they could say is complicit in advising someone, um, they will come after you. And I've seen it happen um, over and over. And the guy was legit. One of the last one I saw was legit, and he showed his live trades, and they nailed it immediately. And the company he was with, and he wasn't a great trader. I mean, he was just so, but he was not losing all the time either. I mean, you know what I mean? He was showing legitimate trades. They want you to get certified. I think it's to protect the CTAs, which is Certified Trading Advisor. Even calling out, if you show your live account and do trades, it's a problem, which is fine. And they have big fees. It's funny though, they never catch the real criminals like the FTX and Madoff, and they get a free ride. Look at this now. This is 100% untradeable. I think the 7 o'clock is just too early for you. I mean, that is just brutal. Matter of fact, some of the guys I told you about are on, out in Seattle and different places, and they will trade the Asian session, the London session, and they don't like trading the New York because they say it's too difficult. I mean, like right now, this is absolutely not tradable right now. But earlier this morning, we got clean trades. Yeah, that was, yeah, that should be telling us something that we already knew. I did the same thing, but I really don't because he's always been, I got to be careful. But yeah, you could put an F in front of that T. Yeah, I'd like to see that also. Okay, we're not far from 10, and it's a monster. This this market is not conducive even to the higher time frame that I've got. It's moving too rapidly. That's 46.20, 46.37, 17 seconds, 12 seconds. I mean, that's, you know what I mean? And it's moving tremendous. This is 2 ticks per bar. And if you try to trade this, you're going to get what you ask for. I hate this. I thought it was going to be more tradable. Friday was the same. Well, the guys go to, I mean, I'll show you the bar they use. We'll put this up. This is going to lock up. I can't do it right now. I'd have to stop the data feed. But they would use a minimum of probably a 22.2 or 32.2 here. And some of them use like like the Aussie guy would use, and he wouldn't trade this. He hates the New York. He won't trade it. But or he'll trade crude, which we might look at. But he would use, I bet you this would be a 32.2 trade. I don't think I have a chart up with, let me look. I might can, if I can find one I got. No, I don't have one that large. I normally keep an 18-2 up, but it takes a 25 tick stop minimum. Well, go lay down. I bet you 10 o'clock's going to be the same as it was before. We'll look at some other markets. It'd be it's hard to switch with. I got so much CPU overhead with recording, and I got so many charts up. And NinjaTrader will lock you up in a heartbeat. Yeah, go take a nap. We can trade it too. I mean, I don't mind. We can look at it and see. 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock normally have some. I'll send you an email if I think it's tradable. How about that? Since I got you, and I really want to do some live trading also. So we'll call this a training day. The key is not jumping in and losing, and stuff like this probably is the reason you hurt your account when you did. Okay, you take care. Appreciate you. Yeah, you can't always be in a trade. Did you follow fibs if you're still there? Because that will hurt you severely. Oop, I see you're gone. No problem.